So, hi and welcome. In this video we're going to go through a few typical styles and grapes of northern and central Italy. And all of them are going to be white wines. So there's going to be still wines and sparkling. So please enjoy. So let us start from the bottom with the Verdicchio, which is mainly planted in the Marche region with the capital of Ancona. So the name of this grape roughly means the little green one because the green hue that often has in the glass when you look at it. The two most famous regions are Verdicchio dei Castelli di Jesi, which is a medieval fortified city in the hills, and then we also have Verdicchio de Matelica, which is close to Perugia. So the flavor of the profile of these wines are high acidity, very crisp, non-aromatic, also not sweet wines with typical citrus flavors like lemon and lime. So it might have a nutty, bitter almond note to it as well. And the grape is mainly used for still wine, not normally as a blend, but it's also used for straw wine and sparkling wine as well. Above Emilia-Romagna, we have Veneto region, which has Venice in the east and Verona in the west, producing, amongst others, the Garganega grape. So this grape is probably more famous with the name of Soave, a wine that was once mass-produced and often with relatively low quality as a bulk wine. And perhaps that is why it needed to become the first region in Italy with a DOC in 1936, to establish a higher quality and more clear rules on what was allowed and not. So in terms of flavors, you often find melon, peach, white antibes, so that's honeydew melon for the Americans out there, and orange flavors, potentially with a touch of marjoram. So Soave is usually a still wine, either made in stainless steel or in wooden barriques, but is also sometimes used in a spumante style with a fizz. Vermentino. So this is a thin-skinned white grape with mineral and light saltiness to it. So the flavor will transport you right back to the salt-sprayed hillside along the coast of Sardinia, Liguria, Tuscany, and Piedmont where it grows. So this grape is called Rolle in France, and you can see it is mostly planted around the areas close to the French border. So in terms of flavors, you will often find lemon, tangerine, ripe stone fruits such as white nectarines and peaches, and it overall goes well with seafood. One of the most recognized areas that grows Vermentino is the Vermentino di Allora, DOCG, in the north of Sardinia. So this grape has often been called the grape that has one of the bigger talents of upcoming grapes and might be something to look out for in the future. Trebbiano is grown in most cities in Italy. It's also grown in France and in Portugal, where it's called Ugni Blanc in France and Taglia in Portugal. It's one of the most planted grapes and is considered to be a little bit of a wheat grape as it has a very high yield and low aroma. And if you want to be mean, you can say that it generates a characterless wine and it's often used for blending. However, some growers have been starting to pay attention to the grape and doing 100% Trebbiano wines, paying the grape a little bit more attention, working with it so it has its flavor and bring out normally more of an apple flavor to it. Not all grapes that have Trebbiano in the name is actually the grape Trebbiano. For example, Trebbiano di Soave has been proven to be a DNA match to Verdicchio. Trebbiano with its high acidity is used for cognac and Armagnac production as well in France. What you said probably doesn't make you want to try Trebbiano that much, but if you actually go to our website, www.threeforks.co.uk, then click on Best Wine, then you can see that actually in our wine tasting of 5 different white Italian wines, then the winner was the Trebbiano d'Abruzzo that got the most votes. So as we always have themed wine tastings with a vote on the end, and this is actually a quite good place to find specific wine recommendations. For example, we would for the best rosé. We also tried a few different Italian reds as well. So if you want any recommendations, this is probably a good place to visit. Gavi di Gavi, or just simply Gavi, is a famous wine made from the Cortese grape in the DOCG of Gavi, which is a small medieval town in northwest of Italy, very close to the Liguria border. Gavi wine is famous for high acidity with peach and honey aspects to it, together with some lemon flavors, honeydew melon and almond. Sometimes it's called the Chablis of Italy because of its steely mineral flavor with hints of vanilla as well. Continuing on, we also have the Arneis, which is grown in the Oroero region in Piedmont. Arneis produces a medium body, intense fruit aroma wine that also often has bitter almond notes to it on the finish, with medium acidity. So these wines are fresh and grassy and somewhat similar to Sauvignon Blanc in white Bordeaux at times. And Oroero DOCG has previously been named as one of the up-and-coming regions to look out for. So, in terms of price, compared to Piedmont overall, then you can probably find some good value here. So let's continue with sparkling wine, and let's start out with Moscato di Asti. So this is a sparkling wine, very easy to drink, low alcohol with around 6% from the cities Asti and Alba, made by the ancient Moscato Bianco grape. So this is fermented using the Charmat method, which is the same as Prosecco, meaning that it ferments in a stainless steel tank under pressure under about 1 to 6 weeks. That would allow the CO2 to go into the wine that way. And what it does is that it is supposing a fresh fruit flavor to the wine with some sweetness as well to it, and the carbonation would be lower than that of a champagne, for example. So the vineyards here are located in the southeastern part of Piedmont, very close to Liguria, and the region has got its DOCG status in 1993, so relatively new, and producing overall quite a high quantity of wine. Prosecco is produced using Glera grapes, using the Charmat method just as at the Asti, but in this case more time and more bubbles and also more alcohol than Moscato di Asti. So that means that Prosecco is not fermented in the bottle for that long time. Of, for example, a champagne that should be at least 50 months, and that would bring a lot of yeasty, bready flavors developing. So Prosecco does not have that, and thus have a more fruit-forward approach with melon, pear, green apple as the common flavors. Most Prosecco is produced north of Venice, and there are a total of 9 regions that produce Prosecco, with the Prosecco de Trieste in the far east, close to Slovenia. Some might say that Prosecco is the champagne of Italy, but if you actually talk about the way it's tasted and the way it's produced, then Franciacorta would probably be the more correct answer. So it's done in the same traditional method as champagne, using similar grapes as champagne, with Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, but they also allow the usage of Pinot Blanc or Pinot Bianco, as well as 10% of the grape Herbe Mat. So as you can see, the Franciacorta DOCG is located in Lombardy, between Milan and Verona, near Lake Garda, and should probably be a quite fantastic wine vacation in the Brescia region of Lombardy. So as it's a more time-consuming way of making wine, then it's also much more expensive than a Prosecco. And in terms of the flavor, it is more similar to champagne, but as it is hotter in this region than champagne, then you will have less citrusy flavors and more of a ripe fruit flavor than of champagne. If you want to take this knowledge and practice it via flashcards or a quiz, then you can do so for free, either via our post about the North Central Italian white wines, or you can find hundreds of others of themed wine questions on www.threeforks.co.uk/flashcards. And you can practice these either on your computer or on your phone. If you're interested in learning more about wine, then please follow us on Instagram. It's threeforks.co.uk. You'll find a link in the description. Thank you very much.